Language barriers no longer stood in the way of your child's education. Discover how on-demand interpretation is revolutionizing the world of parent-teacher communication. Hi, I'm Jason Ellinger from Taika Translations. With over 14 years of experience in our industry and more than 2,000 experts that work with us each day, we are going to talk about in this video how on-demand interpretation and this technology is revolutionizing the world of interpretation in schools and helping teachers, parents connect, breaking down those barriers. It is a game changer in today's interpretation environment. Harnessing the power of technology as well as the human resource of excellent professionals all around the world to make sure that their human connection between the parent, the educator, and the student is seamless and powerful and accessible. Our world is changing fast, and there's never been a time in history where it's been so easy to go from one country to another, to establish a new life, to create a new home, and to get educated in a new or more established education system. And in the United States, we've got so much access to education and a growing population of diverse cultures integrating into our education systems. And because of that, it creates a problem because so many times those people are coming from the outside of the United States, coming into the education system in the United States, and they don't speak the language, or they don't speak it well enough to be able to understand all the concepts in our education systems. And this is a big problem for parents, teachers, and for the students themselves, especially as they go through the process of integrating into the education system and then on to university. So many students, they're talented, they're fully capable in their minds to understand the concepts, but there's a language barrier there. And they have to work through and overcome that in order to be able to facilitate that excellent communication and excellent growth in academics and communication that they're looking for. To address this issue of multicultural integration, we've worked with interpreters all over the world to help solve it. And one of the most recent pieces of technology and elements that helps us to be able to help more people is the integration of on-demand interpretation. And on-demand interpretation is simply, you have an app on your phone, you have an app on your computer, and you can immediately connect with an interpreter who speaks the language that your either client or your student or the parent of the student or maybe a family member of the student speaks, so that you can immediately have that connection that you need right at your fingertips. And this has changed the ballgame for so many teachers and so many classrooms out there, because this gives you power. This makes it to where you can immediately, ad hoc situation, not have to schedule a 3-month in advance phone call, so that we can set an interpreter up, have them come to be in person, have them visit the classroom, go through the background checks and get all the school documents and the visitor passes and such. But they can just be right there ready at your fingertips. They already have all of their HIPAA training, their background checks, and they're already sitting right there in the office waiting. They're already doing interpretation each and every day for different events, and you can just access those people straight through your smartphone or on your computer through the app, or you can just connect with a project manager and they can be available right then and there. So with on-demand interpretation, we have specialists who work in the area of education. Some of them are teachers, some of them are educators themselves that help in schools, and they're readily available to take on the calls with the parent and teacher meetings. And of course, there's all of the studies in the school where there may be math, or maybe sciences, maybe arts that they're having trouble with, maybe the social sciences, and all of these different specialties where on-demand interpretation, we've got those people ready and available who are tuned in to what the material you're going to be going over. You simply say, hey, we're having a meeting about this, and this is the specialty that we're working on, and we can take that and immediately set you up with the correct interpreter who's ready to do that work in that specialty. And that's one of the beauties of on-demand interpretation, is that you have so many more well-versed interpreters who are specialized in the area that you need them to be specialized in, so that they can facilitate the meeting effectively. So I think the outcome is obvious. The increased communication between parents and teachers and students is there. increased accessibility because you don't have to schedule the meeting 3 weeks in advance. And ultimately, the student's performance is greatly enhanced because they have access to the communication they need right now. I mean, how many times have you sat in a meeting that has been, the issue was 3 weeks back, and now we've got the meeting scheduled, and everybody's come to the meeting, and it's this big thing, and we can't even fully remember all of the details of all the issues that happened or all the problems that were faced. And all this time has transpassed between when we decided we needed to set up a meeting and between the time that we actually were able to set up the meeting. And on-demand interpretation eliminates that from happening. So you say, we've got to have a meeting with this parent and this teacher, and we need to do it right away. Okay, we get an interpreter ready for you, and they can be online within seconds. Like sometimes we get the client online with the interpreter, and they're within 30 seconds because we already know what the specialty is and what they need and the language pair. And 30 seconds, we've got them connected to who they need to talk to so that they can have this meeting. Even sometimes it's in the event when you need to call the parent and you don't speak that language. Well, we can get on the phone and take care of that for you. We have the interpreter waiting, pick up the phone, get on the phone with the interpreter calls the parent, and boom, you're connected and you can have a conversation just like that. And that's when the power and the beauty of on-demand interpretation. And that's why we decided as a strategic element of our company to start offering that in recent years, because it's such a powerful communication and connecting tool. So beyond the classroom, in the school administrative environments, there's no doubt about it, our world is a fast-paced environment, and things and communication especially needs to happen rapidly. So when you're a school administrator and you need to communicate to your team members or to your parents in your community, or you need to get an outreach out to the community or explain a new policy or explain the school's policy on how it will view certain government policies and how it will implement those into the school systems or regulate, it's so important to have immediate access to make those administrative communications to all the communities in your school as quickly and as streamlined as possible. And so on-demand interpretation helps in that effort. There's been so many times on Friday here out comes a memo from the higher administration, and it says we have to now do this. We're all going to implement this, and Monday this coming week we're rolling this out. And you're like, okay, that's good and well, for everybody who understands this, but what about for all of those people in our community who don't speak this language, who don't speak English? What are we going to do with them? How can we make sure they're included? And that's where the on-demand interpretation comes in. We're able to immediately connect to the people who we need to connect to and get those messages out in a rapid-fire manner so that no one is left out in the communication of all of the policy administrative changes that happen sometimes on a day-to-day basis. So if you're ready to break down communication barriers in your school, visit www.taiketranslations.com and explore on-demand interpretation solutions. So don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights on how to make your school a more inclusive educational environment.